Welcome to CodeRise Explained. Today we will be discussing the Qt build flow. First, let's have a look at the Qt framework. Qt is an open source framework for creating cross-platform applications. It was originally developed by Trolltech, which was acquired by Nokia, and through various names, the current company developing Qt is the Qt company. The Qt company also has the right to sell proprietary closed source licenses for Qt based around the open source framework. The framework is written in C++, but there are language bindings, official ones for Python, but also good bindings for Rust, Go, .NET, Haskell, JS, and many, many more. In addition to these languages, Qt also comes with its own declarative UI language, QML. This is not something that we will talk about in this presentation, but it's good to be aware of. Prominent users of Qt is, of course, the KDE desktop, but also VLC, the Videolan video viewer, which is cross-platform and widely used on many, many devices. Today, we will have a look at the Qt build flow. This means how Qt projects are built from source. So, at its core, Qt is a C++ framework. And when building C++ applications, you write CPP files, so your source files. You also have headers, which you include into these source files. The result of this is then compiled into object files, which passes through the system's linker to create a binary. This binary can be a shared object, such as a DLL or an .so file, depending on your platform, or an executable. When coming to Qt, you also have the meta object compiler that extracts properties as well as signals and slots and other meta information that Qt provides a nice interface for when developing using C++. How this is implemented is that you have the mock, the meta object compiler, that produces additional C++ files from your class definitions that usually resides in your header files. They can also reside in the CPP files. This is not shown in the flow here. The important thing is that the result is compiled into another object file and then linked into the binary. There is no magic here. As long as you have a modern C++ compiler, you can build the mock, and then the mock can build more CPP files from your sources that results in the final binary. Qt has two more compilers in its tool flow. So one is the resource compiler, RCC. It takes QRC files defining what resources you want to embed into your binary. The way it embeds them is by generating additional C++ files that includes the data of the files that you want to include. This is then compiled into an object file and linked into the binary. The last one is the user interface compiler that is used when you use the Qt Creators Designer or the freestanding designer tool to create UI files. These are then compiled by the UIC compiler to create header files defining the UI part of the class representing the user interface. This is commonly then included into your header file defining all the business logic interfaces for your user interface, which is included into the CPP files using the user interface and then follows the ordinary boot flow, compile flow. All of this is abstracted by your build system. It's good to know that it exists, but you don't have to care about setting it up. If you create a Qt project with all the default settings, you end up using QMake, which takes care of this. For Qt 6 and then in many other popular open source projects such as KDE, CMake is the build system of choice. It also abstracts this away. There is also QBS, the declarative build system for Qt, as well as other offerings. You can also implement this flow by yourself in a Makefile if you really have to, but generally you don't have to do that. It's just good to be aware that this flow exists. So to summarize, you create source files as usual. CPP files, header files, QRC files defining your resources, UI files defining your user interfaces. When it comes to CPP files and header files to commit to your Git repository, you should not commit the mock_CPP files or the UI_header files, because these are intermediate files produced from the UI and header files themselves. You then have a set of tools, so the compiler and linker that you get for your system, the mock RCC and UIC that you get from Qt. The result of the entire flow is your final binary. That is your shared object or your executable. For more quick explanations like this, please visit coderice.com/explained. Thank you.